Right guys, welcome back to HDG Cars. I'm out on a delivery, so I thought we'd make a quick video while we're at it. So, you can get bankrupt very quickly if you buy the wrong car in the UK. So we're going to talk about buying a used car in the UK, why it's a minefield, and sometimes you think you're getting a bargain, but you're not, and it's actually worth. And you think you're getting a bargain, but underneath the hood is sometimes a ticking time bomb. And it doesn't have to always be underneath the hood. It could be under the car, it could be on top of the car, it could be inside the car. There is a lot of things to look out for when buying your first, second, or even your fifth new car. So that's what today's video is going to be about, and how you can save thousands by doing just a few basic checks on the car. Right, so before we actually get onto any specific vehicle, we're actually just going to talk about what to do when looking at the car. So when you see an advert such as an Auto Trader, eBay, Gumtree, I usually try to avoid Facebook even, double check the seller as well. A lot of the time the sellers have reviews on Auto Trader and Gumtree and eBay, so you can actually get a quick glance at what the seller is like. Sometimes the private seller, so you want to read the advert, see if the advert feels genuine. Have they talked about the car? Have they said how long they've owned it for? X, Y, Z. Now there's a lot more I can get into, however that will be a different video. Today it's just going to be about what specific cars to avoid and what specific cars to buy. So let's get right into it. Number one, anything with the Ford 1 litre EcoBoost engine. So that could be your Ford Fiesta, your Puma, your Cougar, anything with that 1 litre EcoBoost engine. In the car industry, we actually call that engine the EcoBoom for very good reason. That car specifically has something called a wet belt. Now that wet belt, if you ask any specific mechanic that works on those, they absolutely love them because they make loads of money off them. Because when those pop, your engine's gone, you need a brand new engine, and it's not very good. And that can be at and around £5,000. So you think, yeah, they're cheap, you can get a 2019 for cheap, manual auto, great on fuel, XYZ, but yeah, that's one thing you need to definitely look out for. So if you are buying one that's around 30 to 70,000 miles, always ask, has the belt been done or changed or even looked at? Now the annoying thing is, even though it can be looked at, you still might have it snap. I've seen cars that are almost brand new, we're talking like 10 to 15,000 miles, and the engine's popped. So that's one to look out for. So in my recommendation in the small economical kind of hatchback class would always be, if you're just looking directly for reliability, would be something like this that I've got today, 1.5 hybrid Yaris, Honda Jazz, all the kind of small Japanese economic cars. If you want something a little bit different and you don't want to go the Japanese route, then I would also highly recommend the Volkswagen Polos and the Seat Ibizas, the 1 litre MPIs. They're very reliable from an engine and gearbox perspective, and they can do a lot of miles. Again guys, whenever you're buying a car, make sure you're looking at the service history, make sure you're looking at, has it been maintained, has the car been okay, and obviously kind of weigh it up. But yeah, so that's kind of the first one to avoid. Now the second one to avoid is the BMW diesel N57 engine. These are notorious. People see these, they say cheap luxury. They see the badge, they think, yeah, I can get it for cheap, and that they've hit a jackpot. Now, generally speaking, they're actually not the worst engines, but BMW made a fatal design flaw with these engines. They put the timing chain at the absolute back of the engine. So a lot of people avoid doing the timing chains because it's such a laborious job, and that's where the issues happen. If your timing chain goes, it stretches or it snaps, you're looking at a minimum of at least £2,000 on from any reputable garage. And that's because the engine has to literally be taken out of the car. So by the time you do that, you might as well just put a fresh engine in. It might be worth just doing that instead. N47s, please be careful of those. Make sure the timing chain's been done, or it's not due shortly, or that it has been even inspected if they can inspect it. Yeah, so it's one of those ones. So always think about that, because that's at least labour only £2,000. So if you're looking for luxury only in that kind of category, there are other BMW diesels out there that do work. Again, please do your research. You know, these 320Ds, can't remember the engine code now, but they work quite well. Those are pretty good. In that kind of category, again, the Japanese are always the best at it. Those Priuses, 1.8 hybrids, Lexus CT200, any Lexus of that era. If we're going to go a bit more German, then the 320D, the Volkswagen 2 litre diesel, the 1.9 TDIs. That's just the latest, guys, 1 second. And, you know, all those kind of cars. So there's a lot out there, but just be careful of the M47. Again, they can be really amazing cars. Just be careful. Right, number 3, and this is a bit of a weird one that people actually don't talk about often. The old Nissan X-Trails and the Qashqais, especially the automatic version with the 1.6. Now, families love those cars, especially the Qashqai. The Qashqai is probably one of our best selling cars. The 1.6i N-Tech is an extremely popular vehicle. Paired with the CVT gearbox, it generally doesn't give too much headache. However, they actually do. Now, the reason being is it's actually more because of the owners than the car. Generally speaking, we see that Qashqai owners are people who are not really into cars and don't know much about cars, and the issue is they a lot of the times Qashqais miss maintenance, or they miss intervals and miss necessary repairs. So what happens is these cars come into us and obviously we get them repaired, but we see a lot of the time that if that CVT gearbox goes, if the gearbox hasn't been serviced on time, you can be in a world of trouble. If that gearbox goes, there's no economical way of saving it. You have to replace the gearbox, which can go into the thousands. Always be careful when you're driving those cars. The CVT gearbox should never judder, they should never whine, and what you think or might feel like is a small repair will always be a gearbox out job, which means it's better just to get a new gearbox. So guys, be extremely careful with the Nissan Qashqai CVTs, especially when they're hitting those miles, and especially the X-Trails. Again, the X-Trails are different gravy. A lot of people use that for commercial use as well, and it can put a lot of strain on those engines. So in that category, there is a lot. Let's talk about the mini kind of SUV class. You've got the Toyota CHR, uber reliable, that Prius engine again, it's 2ZR FXE. Or you could go for the Audi Q5, the 2-litre diesels in there. That 2-litre diesel is uber reliable as long as it's been maintained on time, and it's really easy to work on, really easy to fix. And let me give you one more recommendation. Do you know what? The X1's actually pretty good. Again, we're going to the BMW 2-litre and the 1. You know, I tell you what, forget all of that. The Mercedes 2.1 diesel engine, especially the ones that come in the GLA and the GLCs and whatnot, absolutely spectacular. Very similar, if not the same, as the Mercedes Sprinter engines. Uber reliable, really easy to work on. The injectors are a little bit more expensive on those, but aside from that, it's really good. But yeah, so if you skip the domestic crossovers, you can also look at the JDM minivans, step wagons, Estimas, uber reliable, absolutely no headache whatsoever. So guys, I'm almost at my destination, so I've got to wrap the video up. Essentially, a cheap car is not always a good car, and a cheap car can become an expensive car very, very quickly. That's not to say you can't get a bargain out there, but there are those things you need to look out for. So look out for the Fiesta 1-litre EcoBoost. I wouldn't even touch them if I were you. Although they are actually really popular, believe it or not. I'd rather opt for the 1.25 engine that the Ford Fiestas come with. Or I would recommend looking at the BMW 2-litre diesel if you're looking for that saloon class. Priuses and any Lexuses with that 1.8 hybrid engine are always a really good option. And another option I would look at is absolutely, definitely the Volkswagen 2-litre diesels, the Audi 2-litre diesels, really reliable. So guys, when buying a cheap car, there are bargains out there. Just be careful, and if you want a properly vetted, hand-selected car that's going to last you at least a lifetime of your ownership, come down to HDG Cars. We do a multi-point inspection, over 150 points sometimes, on our vehicles, and we make sure that the cars are clean as a whistle. So hdgcars.com, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and if there's any specific questions or videos you want me to make, please do leave it in the comments or message us, and we'll be more than happy to help. Anyway guys, thank you very much, and we'll see you in the next one.